Hello stock traders, I hope all of you had a fantastic trading week. I had a phenomenal week and I hope all of you killed it also. On Friday, I finished up 1.93%. So far this month to date, I am at a 58.29% gain. Year to date at a 167.51% gain. I had one stock just go absolutely ballistic on Thursday and made just huge gains on it. Before we get started in the video, if you could do me a favor, please hit that most amazing and wonderful like button. Also, if you haven't done so before and you like this type of content, consider subscribing and turning on those bell notifications so you get notified when one of these videos comes out. Also, please reach out to me in the comments section. I want to hear from you. I'm curious to what you have to say. And so if you are looking for me to look up a particular stock, I'm more than happy to do so through the comments. Please understand that I am not a financial advisor, that you need to do your own due diligence and that these are my opinions only. All right, so let's get going. Let's cover the trades that happened this last week. If you are not in the habit of writing down your trades and tracking your trades, I highly recommend that you do so. It will make you a much better trader. I do it each and every week. And so these are all the sales that I had from our basic room with the insider swing play, the PDUFA and phase data run play in our basic room. And then we're also going to cover some of the plays that happened in our standard room and premium rooms with the squeeze play over this last week. Okay, so let's get going. Let's start with the insider swing play and let's go through this. Let's start with SCOR, sold for a 13.74% gain. MNRO sold for a 1.99% loss. IDRA sold for a 3.08% gain. WSC sold for a 0.24% gain. IRDM sold for a 2.57% gain. GOED sold for a 25.22% gain. VNRX sold for a 2.26% loss. CYCN sold for a 16.27% gain. So that was 8 total stocks. 6 of those were wins, and so that's a 6 out of 8 for a 75% win rate, average gain per pick of 7.12%, which is very, very good and above average. My average over the last 5 years with the insider swing play has been a 70% win rate with a 3% average gain per pick with both the wins and losses included. All right, so now let's get to the PDUFA and phase data run-up plays. This is covered in our basic group that is only $27 a month. If you are looking for a fantastic group with great strategies that are followed and called out each and every day, then I highly recommend you check it out. We have a link in the description down below. It is well worth it. All right, so let's start with INCY, sold for a 1.6% gain. Next is ORPH. This one was ridiculous. Sold it for a 1,036.9% gain. Yes, made 10x on it. Bought it for right around $5.60. Held it since May 25th when I called it out. Held it and it went nuts on Thursday. Sold it out. I sold for just over $70. There were many people in our group who sold as high as $77, the absolute top. Congratulations to them. Anyway, we made a killing on it, and that is why you need to be a member of that group, because you never know when a pick like that can happen. Even the other picks, all of them are really very, very good. I recommend it. But we have BPMC sold for a 9.52% loss. AUTL sold for a 16.82% gain. Sold that on Friday, did very well with that. So that was 3 out of 4 for a 75% win rate. Average gain per pick of 261.37%. That is not typical. So anyway, looking forward to next week and some of the other plays that we have going. But let's get to the squeeze play. This is covered in our standard and premium room, and the open trades on our squeeze play right now, they're ridiculous. We have quite a few that are over 100%. In our premium room, we have a couple of call options on these things that are really, really taking off. There are just lots and lots of great calls happening within the squeeze play. Also, you get John and a couple of the other guys that are professional traders that are really so great at what they do. There is someone to learn from definitely within that group and well worth the money. Okay, so let's get to it. The first one is METX, sold for a 0.93% gain. TWNK sold for a 1.33% loss. RHE sold for a 12.4% loss. OCGN sold for a 23.2% loss, but we had GME sold for a 72.36% gain. All of these were stocks. None of these were options. This was stock gains that we we had. So 2 out of 5 with a 40% win rate, average gain per pick of 7.27%. So very, very good. All right, so now let's cover the state of the market. It is so important to pay attention to market conditions, and right now they are very good. And I'm going to explain why I like the market at the moment. Seems like everything is going well. Let's start with the S&P 500 that I am tracking the Elliott wave on. If you have no idea what I'm talking about when I say Elliott wave is very, very important for tracking human emotion, and it works. It's worked over and over again, and there are rules involved with it. It is not an ambiguous group of letters. So we have a graph with no ambiguous results. So this thing is really real and it works. Here is wave 1 of the SPY, and then we have wave 2, wave 3, wave 4. We are currently in wave 5. We have gone into an all-time high, and in my opinion, we are on our way towards higher prices. Could get as high as 430 on the SPY. Then once we get there, the market will fight for direction at that point. We could see a pullback. We could see it continue higher. A lot of uncertainty once we start to get to those levels, but at the levels that we're currently at, I think that we're going to continue to see this. And the reason is because the RSI is positive momentum. So we have positive momentum on the RSI, and we also have a MACD golden cross, and it has still been going on here and doing very, very well. All right, let's go to the triple Qs, which is the NASDAQ 100, and kind of take a look at what's going on there. We have green candles. We have positive movement on the RSI, and we also have a MACD golden cross that is continuing and moving up higher and gaining even more momentum. So we have not had an all-time high here yet, but we should see this early on in the week. Triple Qs are looking very good. It looks like rotation is coming back into those tech stocks, and the NASDAQ stocks are doing very, very well. Okay, so let's take a look at the VIX. When the VIX is high, that is bad. When the VIX is low and down in the dumps, that's very bullish for the market. And as you can see here, we've had a new low of 1565. It is very, very low, well below 20. Once we get to 20, then we start to become concerned about a pullback, but we are very far away from that. So this is very bullish for the market. And so this looks like this is continuing to get beaten down. And so this is looking good for the overall market. All right, let's take a look at the Russell 2000. Russell 2000 is important to pay attention to because it's all the small cap stocks. And as you can see here, we have positive momentum moving up on the RSI, and also we have a MACD golden cross down the bottom. So again, looking very bullish. So all the indicators for the market seem to be very bullish. Now, it doesn't mean that a catalyst can't come along and that the president or Miss Yellen could say something and totally trash the market, but I feel very good about things right now. Even they couldn't screw things up here in the short term, although I say that and they have a lot of power and it's possible. Anything's possible. Okay, let's get to the top 7 so we can start talking about that. Here we go. Let's start with the first one. Pick number 7 is Dollar Tree, ticker symbol DLTR, and this is one that I called out in my last video. And we have some momentum gaining down here on the bottom. We have a MACD golden cross that happened here on Friday, and on Friday this finished up 1.48%. My average, and it's $99.86. Since calling this out, it is up 1.35%. Analysts have an average target of 118.42, so there's a lot of room for its upside, over 20% upside. And we've had insider activity. This is an insider swing play, and so Director bought shares in open market at $99.16, spent their own money in open market, did not wait, and got in on that. And so I think that this is going to move much higher, and this is a great stock for you to get into. This is part of the insider swing play and should continue upwards this next week. All right, let's move on to the next one, which is the University of Wisconsin of Madison County. I'm kidding. This is actually UWM, the company. But it sounded like a college, and so we were all joking around in the standard Discord talking about how it sounded like a college. And apparently it's the Fighting Badgers of the University of Wisconsin-Madison County. So a little shout out to the Fighting Badgers. Okay, on Friday this finished up 5.80%. My average, and it's $10.17 since calling this out. It is up 1.31%, so this is still the ground floor. This is an insider swing play that I think you can make quite a bit of money on. Analysts have an average target price of $12 a share. I think that is way undershooting the potential of this stock. It could move much, much higher. But we have a director buy of significance in open market, and also we hit a low, and now it's really, really moving upwards. There's tons of momentum, as you can see here. It come up and got overbought on the RSI and came back, and so that was a little bit of concern, but then bam, it went right back up again. We have lots of momentum on the MACD. liquidity, and so things are even getting stronger as we go, even though we are getting to this overbought level. So this is looking really, really good, and I think this can move upwards. It's definitely one you'll have to watch for pullbacks on. But our next level of resistance isn't until about 1240, and so there's lots of upside potential here. I could see this moving way higher this next week. Number 5, we have NVDA. NVIDIA. Number 5, and this one is doing great, and hopefully you got in on this when I called it out. Man, it's going to continue just to move. And anyway, on Friday, this finished up 2.30%. My average in at $605.78. Since calling this out, is up 17.70% and climbing. Analysts have an average target price of $715.34, and we have a stock split coming up on this. And there is more room for this to run, just like Apple and Tesla ran all past their analyst targets. I expect this to do so also as we get closer and closer to that stock split, that 4-to-1 split. They have a huge earnings beat here and lots of positive news coming out on NVIDIA. This is one that should continue to rock upwards. If you're not in it yet, I still think there's time. I still think you can get into it and make some money. There is no upward resistance because we're in all-time high kind of territory. And I think this will just continue to rocket upwards. There's lots of momentum everywhere. There's momentum here. There's momentum there. There's momentum here. This is going to be a great stock to be in as we get going. All right, number 4. Now, number 4, I already made this list at this time, but we got some bad news on number 4. So I'm going to be looking for an exit point on number 4, and this is Essentia Pharma, ticker symbol ASND. On Friday, this finished up 1.58%. My average on it's $138.79, which is really high. I'm actually down in it. Anyway, as we get talking about ASND, they had some bad news. So they just got notification late on Friday, and I'd already written the list that their FDA approval is going to be delayed. This can happen with these PDUFA run-ups. You know, you have your great run-ups like ORPH, for example, that ran over 1,000%, and then you have ones like this that the FDA delays decision on. And so unfortunately, this is probably going downwards on Monday, even though we have a lot of other things in their pipeline. I think this will affect things in the short term. It messes up our run-up for sure because it moves it 3 months down the road. Anyway, I will look for this for a run-up at a later time, but I'm probably going to find an X point on this. If you are not in this, I recommend not entering. If you are in this, hopefully we get some volume somewhere down the line and some people cover, or maybe some shorts cover, something happens to where we can get out and have it not hurt too bad. I don't think it'll be too bad, but anyway, this is one that I think is going to probably dip and no longer fits my PDUFA run-up strategy. All right, next, let's move on to number 3, which is a very good stock to have, and that's REVG. REVG, this is the Rev Group, and let me explain to you why I think this stock is absolutely going to fly on Monday. Okay, so this is the Rev Group. On Friday, finished down 0.94%. My average in at $16.80. I probably overpaid a little bit for this in aftermarket on Friday, but I wanted to get in once I saw what happened. Analysts have an average target price of $17.94. They are completely and utterly wrong. This stock is most likely going to move much higher. This reminds me of Kodak before it had its big move, and let me explain why. Anyway, since calling this out is down 2.32%, or Greenwich Life Sciences that went up 2,400%. So this is one of those that has multiple officers in open market. The Chief Human Resources Officer bought shares. The CEO bought shares at the almost exact same time, just a few minutes afterwards, and the CFO did the same. So all of them did not buy in a group buy. All of them bought individually, and all went in open market and paid open market prices. They wanted in, and they wanted in now. They paid whatever the ask price was. They didn't wait. They spent significant amount of money. It shows a lot of impatience. It seems like something big has happened in this company, and these 3 officers took all their available money and put it into their own stock as soon as they could, and then reported it to the SEC right away. Very, very bullish. So anyway, I'm expecting this one. This one could really rocket upwards. All of those transactions were reported on Friday in aftermarket. So this should really rocket upwards. This should be really fun. I've made a lot of money on Rev Group in the past on insider activity, and they typically have a reason for going in. And so this is one that could really move upwards. And so we have an all-time high of 22.22. I don't think that's safe. I think we could pass right past that. We have other resistance levels right around the $21 level. This is going to have a phenomenal day, in my opinion. probably on Monday if people pay attention to it. If not, and then it won't. And who knows when the news will come out, but I think this is one that's really, really going to be great. All right, number 2, SAFE, Safe Hold. And hopefully all of you got in on this when I talked about this. I've been talking about this stock seems like forever, but this is Safe Hold, ticker symbol SAFE. On Friday, this finished up 0.88%. My average in at $71.37. Since calling this out, it is up 7.85%. Analysts have an average target price of $89.67. They're probably going to have to redo that. That is not nearly high enough. I think that this one will climb way above $100, and this just keeps going up. Why? Why is this stock that no one's ever heard of Safe Hold? It gets a little bit of movement on Stocktwits, which I think is kind of hilarious, but everyone in there is talking about Safe Moon, not Safe Hold. Safe Hold is an actual company. It's a leasing company. It's a land leasing company in New York. They have had 22 days of insider activity. iStar has been loading up shares for 22 days in a row. In 2019, they did this. In 2020, they did this. And now in 2021, they're doing it again. So this is round 3. Round 1, I made 115% just buying Safe and holding it as it went from in the mid 20s all the way up to $40, $50, $60 or whatever it ended up hitting. It was really crazy, and it just continued to go. And then it happened again in 2020. It was a little bit of a shorter stint, made like 20% on that one. This one is more, it seems really powerful and bigger dollar amounts than ever before. Safehold is a low volume stock, and so they are paying almost 10% of the total volume each and every day. iStar is going in on this, and it's been 22 days in a row. If it's like 2019, there were over 130 days in a row. It was crazy, just tons and tons of movement. And so this one should continue just to move upwards slowly but surely. Anyway, this is a great stock to get into. You know, it's only up 7% since calling this out. I think it will run close to 100% up by the time this is done, especially if this continues. Being that it's a low volume stock, all you need to do is just buy it and hold it. Don't sell it, just keep it. Wait until the insider activity stops and then sell it, but I don't expect that to stop anytime soon. All right, so let's get to number 1. Number 1 is PLAY. Ticker symbol PLAY, Dave & Buster's. And Friday, this finished down 2.75%. Let me explain to you why I think this one's going to do well. So my average in it's $42.55. Since calling this out, it's only up 0.62%. So if you were watching on YouTube, you can make a ton of money on this just by watching it and being in on it. Analysts have an average target price of $49 a share. And this is a short squeeze. And this fits every single thing I look for in a short squeeze. We have an average short percentage of 21.51%. It's about the same as AMC. This is not getting a lot of attention yet, but I think it might be. And if someone from Reddit or someone wants to go on Reddit and start to talk about this one, I think this is one that could really, really run because they had fantastic earnings. And there are a lot of short positions that need to cover and get out of this thing. And so this is one that could really, really move upwards because of that high short percentage. This could be a great stock to be in and to take advantage of that. So you just buy it, hold it, wait for them to panic. You have the advantage as the buyer. So that's the whole thing. You have the advantage. You don't have to cover to anybody. So you can just take advantage of them panicking and selling out. And it's fun to make a bear scared. Well, let's have a fantastic week this next week. I wish all of you the best and so appreciate all of you who subscribe to the channel and also all of you who support me through Patreon group and everything that I get to do and work with you each and every day. It is a joy for me for sure. Let's make lots of money this next week, and Raythoven out.